Okay, hello. It's great opportunity to be here. I see a lot of automotive faces I kind of recognize from the press and things, so it's a real joy to talk to a lot of car guys. If I get a bit long, too long to speak, just feel free to fall asleep and I'll stop. I don't know how long I have to speak, but I can talk all day about the car. You just tell me to stop. Okay. My responsibility, for those who probably don't know me, are I'm the design director for McLaren Automotive. My name is Stephenson, and I work with a great bunch of guys. We're all obsessive compulsives, which is probably a good thing in the automotive industry because it gives us the opportunity to, I think, present a car as special as McLaren MP4-12C. By the way, you don't have to refer to MP4-12C because that is a bit long-winded, but it's generally known, and we call it 12C at work, so it's a bit easier. The 12 is a number we've come up with that is the result of 4 important values to determine the efficiency of the car. If we plug in those different numbers of the competition, those 4 values, we'll know if they're better or worse than us. At the moment, in that segment, no other car beats this one. So we're pretty sure that we have a car that's going to set pretty new levels in the sports car segment. C obviously is for carbon, so that's hence the 12C name. I could probably best start with the front of the car. I just want to go quickly through the design because every element of the car has been designed and spoke about each part of it. I think that will probably have to do it. So relatively, the most important parts we're going to hit on in a brief description. It's kind of hard in this segment because most cars that are in this segment have a mid-engine. Proportions are relatively the same in that segment for most cars. And so what's difficult is to give it its own identity to make it stand out from the crowd without making it too outlandish and too extravagant. If that's your intention, it's fine. You can do what some of the other competition brands do. But because we're all about performance, McLaren really is probably the easiest way to design is to just design it around what the engineers give you as a package for efficiency. And that's pretty much the result of what we have here. Like I said, the design language is important. We don't want to step over to the sensible design language of Ferrari is going to be what I kind of call the origami language of Lamborghinis, which is that folding edge look that Ferrari enjoy washing, I would imagine. A Lamborghini you might cut yourself. This car here is probably a combination of both. We haven't really gone to a long stretch of trying to stylize it. We basically just shrink wrap it over the basic package that the engineers gave us. Obviously, you have to sell the car, so it does have to be attractive. You probably never buy anything that you can find nice to look at, although it probably does work. But a lot of the driving force of buying products are the aesthetic values. If you like it, don't like the way it looks. So, hence there is a bit of styling to the car, but mainly if you look at the front of the car, that pretty much tells you what the car is all about. It's like the face of the person. You try to see if it's an aggressive or a friendly or a happy or whatever. We've tried to give the car a look that really makes it stand out, although, like I said, we have the same package. Most of the other manufacturers, we're going to get air into the front, we're going to keep the front end down very low, and mid-engine and all that. But the position that most people look at in the first is really the front 3/4 vision. And as you can see from the headlamps and sort of the very aggressive looking front end, it does come across pretty uniquely as a new car in the segment. We've given the headlights a lot of detail, a lot of attention. You can see that there's sort of a soft glow around the lamps here. These are always on, by the way. That's your indicator. As you know, Audis, for example, have those LEDs that kind of look pretty cool, very, very futuristic, but they kind of put you off because they're so intense, a lot of hot spots that look a bit too aggressive. We have exactly the same technology, although we're taking it a step further with little caps for the LEDs that sort of diffuse the light and sort of give you the more pleasing, identifiable lights which relate to the logo. And as in BMW, which has those pretty nifty little halos around the lamps, we've gone something a bit further. We've given it the typical Ferrari McLaren cooling vents on the Formula 1 cars, so that you can really identify the car at night. The front end has been optimized for aerodynamics, especially for downforce in the front. We have a tunable splitter in the front, which can be a body color, can be carbon fiber, contrasting color, all different materials. It works optimally for flow. You can see the ribs here, two intakes on the front here, one for cooling, one for the LTRs, which are the low temperature radiators, and the camera lens here in the front. You can download your track day, you can drive up in the mountains, or just a nice day on the road. You can download it to your monitor inside the car or send it over to your computer at home. You can also have the camera in the car mounted between the driver and the passenger, so you just have PlayStation local to the drive, or you can also download the one that's in the rear of the car. That helps you with parking also if you're on a track day and you want to see what's behind you and all those things. So it's really thought out well in terms of giving you a lot of enjoyment to driving the car. It's a daily driving car as opposed to other cars in this segment. You'd be hard pressed to take it out every day. We have a best in segment volume trunk in the front, so you can actually put luggage into it. And optionally, we'll have bespoke luggage to offer in the car, so we really optimize the use of the luggage area. On the door, on the side of the car, you can see we have what's called the cab forward proportion, which allows the driver to sit very far forward, very much in control of the car, feel like he's at one with the road. In our pursuit of optimizing the ergodynamics and the obsession with weight, we completely eliminated the door handles of the car. It looks a bit strange without door handles, but that's only because it's brand new. We don't have any buttons to push. Basically, we have a key fob. The car recognizes you as the owner, and it's ready to be opened when you come up next to it. You just basically slide your hand under the door panel, and it connects. So that's one of the main features of the car in terms of the ease of entry and exit. Another extremely unique McLaren feature is the dihedral door system, which allows the door to come up and over the body. That completely eliminates the rocker panel, so you can get in and out of the car much easier than a normal super sports car. Inside the car, it's difficult to see it from here, but it's relatively inspired by the iPod, which means a lot of features involved, but very, very simple to see and very simple to operate, not a lot of dials. It's not a race car where you have to race it. You can do that, of course, but all the information you need is located on the touch-sensitive screen in the center of the car, in the console. It has just as many features as the 7 Series or an S-Class Mercedes. So all the stuff, the equipment levels you need are there. It's just not disturbing and distracting when you drive the car. We kept the steering wheel relatively clean. No buttons on there to disturb you. It's not your office. It's basically a vehicle to be enjoyed and give that ease of motoring. You don't want to distract with too much information. Then on the side of the car, as I go back slightly, the main feature on the side of the car is the intake. It's a high-performance car. It needs a lot of air. It requires air to perform at its maximum. But in our pursuit, again, of reducing weight, we've relocated the main radiators on the car. In a normal car of this type here, you would put the radiators facing the wind. That's probably the most efficient position to get full advantage of the wind of the air coming in to feed the engine. But it takes up a lot of space, makes the car much larger, much wider than it needs to be. We've come up with an interesting concept, which is to put the radiators in car line, so out of the wind flow. Challenge, of course, to get the wind to come into the radiators, but then again, that's what our Formula 1 engineers do on a daily basis, is come up with solutions. So what we've done is we've added a wing here that might look like a styling gag, but is purely functional in terms of letting the air turn 90 degrees and come in as efficiently as possible to feed the engine. Works very, very well. It's been computer generated and slightly styled to look attractive, but 100% efficient, much more efficient than anything else on the market like that. To the rear, it's a little bit difficult from there unless you come back later to see it. But what we have in the back that looks like a spoiler is not a spoiler. We achieve VMAX, maximum speed, with that in its current position. But if you want to have high downforce on track mode, you can't lock it into a semi-upright position, sort of at 45 degrees. But its real purpose is to serve as an air brake, sort of what you have on a wing of an airplane when it slows down. What it does is if you press the pedal with any amount of urgency or speed, it'll flip up vertically almost instantly and settle the back end, because when you brake, I'm sure you know that the front end, back end sort of tends to lift and you unsettle the car in terms of balance. The effect of the brake, the air brake, is really to keep the car planted in the back and keep the power to the rear, keep it very steady and very rock solid in emergency situations or high braking situations. Another thing very important, the rear end, you might ask why it has so many holes. It's obvious it's a sports car and it's heat, but really these kind of engines are for 600 horsepower, you can cook on the back end, so you have to get the air out. All the air that comes in has to get out as efficiently and quickly as possible. So it's kind of riddled with holes in the back. I mean, even the back area where you think that the taillights would be are divided up into air outlets back there. It's basically, like I said, just to get as much hot air at idle and at high speed to get it out as quickly and efficiently as possible. But it works extremely well. The taillights on the back of the car are sort of an identifying feature of the McLaren right now, that they're there but they're not there. You won't recognize them immediately, but when you need to use them, they'll be there. They'll turn on. They sort of look disguised at the moment. And basically